Welcome everybody to Adams Polish's Wednesday live video. Glad we can be back. Sorry we canceled last week. Like I said, we were spring cleaning up in the office. I actually kind of want to show you guys because it looks really good. But yeah, today, to be honest with you, the detail bay is completely full with pallets and the wash bay is taken up with other stuff. So it was hard for me to like pick a specific topic. So I was like, you know, we haven't done a Q&A in a long time. And I'm like, this is like the perfect opportunity to do it. So I actually have Ryan behind the camera. He works behind the desk here at the retail store, and he does a lot of customer service. He's probably answering a lot of your guys' great questions through our customer service. So he'll be asking the questions, and we're just gonna kind of have some fun with it. Really, what I want you to do is just any question you have about Adams polishes or detailing, or like maybe it's professional detailing questions, or you know, detailing questions about like your routine at your house, like your DIY kind of setup or whatever. I want to answer any of the questions for you. So make sure that you just start putting them in, no hesitation. There's not a bad question, and that's the one thing I will say is that if you have a question and maybe you think it's not a great question, still ask it, because it might answer a question that somebody else either might have or might not know that they had. So don't hesitate. And if I have my car outside, it's pretty dirty actually. And then we also have this really sick Z06 right here that has this like custom wrap, which is really cool. But any question you have, like if anything, what I can do is I'll grab product or whatever and kind of show you live. It's not staged or anything, but just show you live really quick, like how to do it, or answer the question the best I can. So,
all right, we do have a question. It's from Rod A. What's the best way to remove hard water spots from a ceramic coated car?
Oh, okay, that's a good question. That's from Rod A. All right, thanks Rod for the question. He said, what's the best way to remove hard water spots from a ceramic coated vehicle? So I would say, water spots is kind of a weird topic. So I would say there's kind of 3 different ways to remove it, starting from the least aggressive, getting up to the most aggressive. So, and also just so you guys know, like water spots happen in 3 different stages. So, and really the time frame of which you catch them is dependent on like what method you'd use to remove them. So if you catch them early, so I would say like within a couple hours, you know, so you just washed your car, you dried it off, but maybe you missed a spot, and within a couple hours you see the water spots, then you can pretty much take a quick detailing type of product. So I probably would start with like waterless wash or detail spray, either one of these two, and just spray it on and wipe it off. Okay, so what's happening essentially is like hard water means that there's minerals inside of the water. So what happens is you know, there's hard water on the car, the water evaporates into the air like the water cycle, which creates rain, snow, and all this stuff. But the minerals stay behind onto your car. And so if you catch them early enough, you can essentially re-wet them with this and wipe it off. What happens is if you don't catch them for a couple days, say, then the minerals start to bond to the actual surface. They turn to scale, and scale is like what you see on your, you know, it's like lime buildup, but like a lot of people say, like in your bathroom or your sink, you'll see like the green substance on your, white and green substance on your sink where like the water comes out. Once it starts bonding to the actual surface, it's becoming scale. And that means the minerals have actually bonded together and to the surface it's sitting on. At that point, you need either a kind of mechanical removal, or you can use a chemical removal. So I would say like on the chemical removal side, I don't even know if we have it out here. It's in the back, but we have a water spot remover, which is a hydrofluoric acid, okay? The reason why it has to be hydrofluoric acid is it actually breaks down the bond of the minerals. And I personally don't like to use the hydrofluoric acid. I've used it many, many times before and it works great. There's a very specific method to that. and it requires waterless wash to go with it. So hydrofluoric acid, as long as it sits on the surface, it will constantly keep working. So if you use, the way you use our water spot remover is you would put it onto a gray applicator, you put some on there, and you go over the surface, and as soon as you start to see the hydrofluoric acid, it's a gel formula, as soon as you see it start to dry, you spray waterless wash on it and wipe it off with a fresh towel, like a plush towel, like a single soft or a borderless gray towel. And the reason why you need waterless wash is because it has surfactants in it that actually pull the hydrofluoric acid away from the surface. If you use water only, or you use a towel only, it doesn't get all of the water spot remover off, and then it continues to work on the surface. So you have to use waterless wash. And by the way, on glass, the hydrofluoric acid, the water spot remover, on especially like glass inside your home, like shower doors, that glass is a lot different than the glass that is used on your car. And so it eats away that glass really, really fast, to the point where I use it on my shower glass doors, and I almost ruined them. I actually had to polish them with a machine polisher to make it look better. So I don't recommend using our water spot remover like in your home, but use water spot remover. So if you didn't fully get the water spots off by doing that one pass where you wipe it, it starts to dry, boom, you grab waterless wash, spray it on, wipe it off. If you didn't remove the water spots completely, then you do it again, another pass. Okay, so that's the chemical removal of it by using a water spot remover. The mechanical way of removing it is by using either one of these guys, which is a clay bar or visco clay, which these are both kind of, like the visco clay is a medium fine grade clay, and the medium grade clay bar is medium grade. And so these are the most abrasive clay mechanisms that we have. And when I say mechanical, that means like, you know, you spray detail spray on to allow the clay to glide, but the detail spray is not doing the work. The clay is actually like grabbing on to the scale of the water spots and like pulling it off of the car. So, step one, if you catch them early enough, within I'd say a couple hours, water spot or waterless wash only. Just spray it on, wipe it off. If you don't get them off like that, then you try either water spot removal with a very specific process, or you clay the surface, and oftentimes that will remove it. Now, if that doesn't remove it, what happens is the third stage of water spots is the scale and the minerals that have now bonded to the surface start reacting with the UV sun rays, and it actually turns into acid. So it starts etching into your clear coat. So like now what happens is those water spots have turned into scratches in the form of the water spot. So the only way to remove those is to do this, is to polish. So you have to actually remove layers of the clear coat to get to the bottom of the water spot to even it out and make it look perfect. Now I will say this, okay? The polishing step can also remove the water spots when they're in the second stage in the scale. So if you have a polisher to remove water spots when they have turned to scale, instead of using clay or water spot remover, you could just go straight to polishing. But generally, when you're going to polish a car, you need to clay it first anyways. So that's kind of like why we say you can do that, right? So yeah, like if you find water spots on a car, I think oftentimes water spots show up on used cars, even cars, new cars on dealer lots, because they don't use filtered water to wash those cars after it's rained or snowed out on the lot. So oftentimes you see that. So, you know, I'd say like the thing about used cars on lots and new cars on lots is they, not even a question, are new or like perfect. So oftentimes you should polish it anyways. So if you're gonna polish it anyways, you can skip all the first two steps from waterless wash, water spot remover, and clay, and just go into the polishing process.
So Rod A followed up on his first question by saying he polished up his water spots and they were gone, only to reappear a few days later after the car was in the sun.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I would just polish it again, you know, and I would say like at that point, if they're not coming off, I don't know necessarily the steps, what Rod was doing, but like I would recommend doing like compounding first and then polishing after. I mean, I think it's a good place to start with the polish, but realistically, because you're actually like correcting the clear coat, you should start with compound and move to polish. And then depending on, you know, how aggressive you need to be, it's either a microfiber pad or blue foam with the compound and then the white foam with the polish. So I'd probably say like, and I would say too, Rod, like find the area that is the most severe where the water spots are. So like, let's say it was right here. This was the most severe. And oftentimes the most flat portions of the car have the most severe water spots. Get this right first and know the process that you went through, and then apply that to the rest of the car as you go around. So that would be like my best advice for that. Yeah.
We got another question from E.M. Ramirez. He's got an SLC Mercedes. He's got some black rims on it. He's asking which wheel cleaner should he be using, purple or green, and can it be applied with an IK Foam Pro 2?
So that's a good, yeah, that is a good question.
Ratio question.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. Is that the Mercedes you have, Ryan?
I've got the
Oh, okay. He has a what?
SLC.
SLC. All right. So, remind me, I'm not overly familiar with Mercedes. SLC more of a performance type of car. Okay, so SLC, he has black wheels. So just let me know too if they're like satin or matte black or if they're gloss black wheels. But because they're black means that they've been painted. They're not raw metal. And in that case, because it's a more performance style car, I'd be using this blue wheel cleaner right here. I'd be using this. And he was asking, you know, blue versus purple. This is the wheel and tire cleaner. I'm recommending to him the teal colored standard wheel cleaner. Now, there's a very specific reason why I'm recommending this. And make sure too that you're cleaning the tires with the tire and rubber cleaner. So this is like the pair to go together. So this cleans the tires and the fenders, and this cleans the wheels. The reason why I'm recommending wheel cleaner to him specifically is this has something in it called thioglycolate that melts away metallic brake dust. And on those Mercedes cars, like any type of performance car, and it kind of depends on the make, but like Mercedes, BMW, Audi, more like performance-based cars, they put out a ton of metallic brake dust. And what happens is, especially on his black wheels, is if he hasn't cleaned his wheels for an extended period of time, they almost look brown. And a lot of times people think that brown is from dirt, and it's actually not. It's from the brake dust from the brake pads sticking to the wheels, and then it starts to rust. And it looks brown, but really it's like turning orange because the metallic brake dust is turning orange. And so, and if you drive really hard, which I'm sure he does because he has a sick car, when he's done driving, I bet if he wiped his finger, it would be black on his fingers because of that metallic material. And so the wheel cleaner has thioglycolate in it, which breaks that down. So when he uses this product, when he sprays it on, they're gonna turn crazy purple or pink because the reaction of thioglycolate is gonna break down the metallic brake dust. So wheel cleaner is your best option. So if anybody watching, if you have a more performance-based car, like this Z06, I would use wheel cleaner, okay? I have a old, I don't think it's crappy, but an old crappy 4Runner, 2008. I do not have a performance car. The brake dust I get on that is not metallic, and so wheel cleaner still works great, but to be more efficient, I use wheel and tire cleaner because it's just one product for both. But I have big, meaty tires on mine because they're off-road tires, and they turn brown like crazy. And wheel and tire cleaner does a better job of ripping the brown out of those tires. So I use wheel and tire cleaner instead of wheel cleaner. So if you have like, you know, I'd say like an SUV or a truck that doesn't have performance brakes, the wheel and tire cleaner is great for those. But like if you have a you know, a Ram, what's it called? The Ram T-Rex or like a Ford Raptor or like a more performance-based Silverado, wheel cleaner might be the right thing for you. But it's just, if you have performance-style brakes, wheel cleaner is like the thing that's going to work. But if you don't, you know, you have, which I think are cool, minivan, you know, or like a standard sedan, maybe a crossover, SUV, Tacoma, wheel and tire cleaner I think is a little bit better. And oftentimes those cars with bigger tires, bigger sidewall tire, this is better because it can really make the tires look more jet black than anything. So.
We got another question here from Chester Thomas. He says he's got a Tacoma. They come from the factory with the rust. Can you spray the Advance on the undercarriage and not have to level it?
Oh, that's a good question. So first off, what's up, Chester? Chester's on here every week, which I love. Chester's amazing. So he said, you know, he got a Tacoma from the factory. Did he say it's already rusting?
It says, I have a Tacoma and they come from the factory with rust.
They come from the factory with rust. Okay, so what I would say is, so this is like a weird topic. So the thing about rust is if it's surface rust, that's different. But most rust comes from the inside out. So if you put ceramic coating on top, it doesn't actually stop the rust because it continues to rust from the inside. But if you really, I would think more ceramic coating for you, Chester, is to make cleaning it easier. So 1,000% you can spray the advanced ceramic coating on the undercarriage and not level it off. The reason being is on areas that you can see consistently, only then will you see high spots and other things. Like in my fenders, I can't tell if the ceramic coating is perfectly level or not because I can't see it. I'd have to like stick my head underneath and look at it. So like when I use a spray coating advanced on my fender wells and my suspension, I don't level it off really at all. I will give it like a couple swipes so it's not dripping off. But yeah, if you want to spray that on the undercarriage, feel free. It's going to make cleaning that a lot easier. Now the only thing I will say is if it is rusting from the factory, we actually, Adams Polishes owns a company called POR 15, and it's essentially like, it's a better version of Rust-Oleum, okay? And they have different versions of it. They have POR 15, which is a rust stopper that you could paint on with like a paintbrush, or they even have an aerosol like spray paint of rust stopper. And the only thing is that if you put the POR 15 on an area that's exposed to UV consistently, it breaks down. So you have to put real paint over the top of it. But for an undercarriage, you can absolutely, like if you could get that up on a lift and coat everything underneath it with POR 15 first and then use the spray coating after, that would be the ultimate way to do that. So POR 15 is actually kind of the preferred chassis coating for a lot of custom build shops, like hot rod shops and things like that. And the thing about it too is like not only does it protect it, but it stops rust from spreading. So you know, like one of the videos we did, we were at a custom build shop here in Wheat Ridge, Cypher Specialties, and you know, they had a full chassis all laid out with no body or engine or anything in it, and it had rust all over it. And what you do is then you just paint and get the POR 15 on as much stuff as possible, and then it's good to go after that. But yeah, I would like recommend coating on after that. So yeah, Ryan will have to take a break here in a second because he's got a customer. But go ahead.
Yeah, good question. And next one is from Jose. What's the best way to remove bird droppings from the car?
Oh, that's a good question, Jose. Good. Thanks for being on here, Jose. Best way to remove bird droppings. So there's a couple ways to do it. I would say first and foremost, washing your car is probably the best way to do it because you can get your whole car clean. But also, when you wash your car with car shampoo or mega foam and that stuff, it provides the most lubricity for while washing. Thank you. So washing your car, number one. Number two, if you're trying to get it, the thing about bird droppings is that it's pretty acidic, okay? And that acid will like eat into your clear coat. That's why oftentimes after you clean it off, you can still see where it is, in which you need to polish that off, okay? So if you can catch it fast enough, like let's say that you parked your car in your driveway or you parked it on the street or at work, it didn't have a bird dropping on it, and then when you came out for lunch or you got home or went out to go to work and you saw the bird dropping on there, you could take a minute, take waterless wash, and you turn the sprayer nozzle. I'm sure all you guys know this, but turn the sprayer nozzle to stream, and you use that to blast as much of the bird dropping off. But also while you're doing that, it's kind of hydrating. It's like wetting it down, and you spray it enough, let it sit for a couple minutes, then spray it again to blast it off. And then because you have the waterless wash there, then I would turn the sprayer to spray instead of stream, spray more of the car, and then wipe it off with a plush towel, and that will remove it. I will say, really try to, not really try, but absolutely avoid trying to take your finger and rubbing it. Birds eat seeds, and there's little seeds in there, and if you do that, it will put little micro scratches in your car where that is. And also, it's disgusting, but also, like, I think a lot of people I see use their, like, fingernail, and your fingernail gets dirt underneath it, and it's just not a soft material, and you'll actually, like, scratch your car by using your fingernail. So I see people do that a lot. They'll get, like, a big scratch, and they, like, take their fingernails and they go like this, and now they have a big scratch this way, and then they have, like, little scratches going the opposite way, which is fine, but you're gonna correct it anyways. But yeah, like, avoid rubbing your finger on the bird dropping to, like, loosen it up. Use the spray setting on the nozzles you get from us and, like, blast it off.
Cool. Good answer, man. We got another question here from Greg. Pros and cons of using ceramic coating on trim versus graphene VRT.
Oh, okay, that's a good question. Thank you, Greg, for the question. So Greg said advantages of using a ceramic coating on trim versus, like, graphene VRT. So I'll just say this, like, any form of our VRT, which is the standard VRT like this, which has been on our line forever, or the graphene VRT. So graphene VRT is just an extension of this. It's just a more robust version of it, meaning it's gonna last longer and have more hydrophobic properties. Any VRT, which stands for, it's on the front of this label, vinyl, rubber, trim, and tires. So it really should be called VRT and T, but we couldn't fit on the label, so it's just VRT. So vinyl, rubber, trim, and tires. That is a dressing. So anytime you hear someone talk about a dressing, like a trim dressing, it is or it's not intended to last a long time. It's a dressing, meaning, like, you put it on to make it look nice, and then the next time you wash your car, you need to reapply it again. It's like, I tend to call it like lipstick for trim, okay? It's not permanent. Not to say ceramic coating's permanent, but it, like, lasts a lot longer of a time. So what I tend to tell people is the best way to treat trim is to first clean it with this product right here. So spray this into either a edgeless microfiber. So because it's woven, it's not going to lint on the surface when you're using it. So like this towel right here. So woven microfiber, you'd use that. You could probably get away with a premium interior microfiber, but these towels are really nice, so I don't like to screw those up. These are a little bit more realistic in price, and they're very, very rugged. But also, like, there's some cars that have a ton of trim on them, like trucks, you know, like a huge bed rails, the bumper has plastic, all around the car has plastic. I've even used our great white drying towel, because again, that's like more of a woven type of towel. So clean it with tire and rubber cleaner. So you spray tire and rubber cleaner into the towel, and then you scrub the trim, whether it's rubber or plastic, and that removes the oxidation. After you do that, I recommend taking, like, surface prep, or you can make your own isopropyl alcohol spray. You don't use full strength isopropyl alcohol, you, like, cut it. I don't know, I think it's like, you know, maybe 1 ounce so it's like 1 ounce isopropyl alcohol, 15 ounces of distilled water. Spray that, wipe it off, so you get the residue of tire and rubber cleaner off, and then after that, ceramic coat it. Whether you're doing the spray coating or the advanced ceramic coating, or it doesn't matter, any of the ceramic coatings. And then after it's coated, that's like your foundation layer. So now that you have it coated and it's protected, which protects from the UV, so it prevents it from oxidizing over and over and over again. When you come back, if it doesn't look perfect like the way you had it, but it's still like beating water when you spray it off, then you can restore, like, the richness in color with either VRT or graphene VRT. So, like, my recommendation is put a base layer of ceramic on there and then, like, dress on top of it, which is only going to help the ceramic coating. And then over time, maybe reapply the ceramic coating after a couple years or whatever. So the ceramic coating is more of a protection layer, And the VRT or graphene VRT is like a dressing layer to make it look rich in color and nice after.
Great. Circling back to the question that Ian Ramirez said about the wheel cleaner, he was asking about what dilution the.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, Ian. All of our wheel cleaning products are RTU. They're ready to use, so you don't need to dilute them at all. And he also asked, can you use them out of the IK foamer? The standard wheel cleaner, which I recommended to you, I don't recommend using it out of the foaming thing. The reason why is it almost like deactivates the thioglycolate in there, and wheel cleaner is already a gel formula, so when you spray it and it hits the wheel surface, it sticks there already. Whereas the wheel and tire cleaner is not a gel formula, so you can actually use that out of the foaming sprayer. So, yeah, I'd say like if you're using the standard wheel cleaner, no need to use it out of you can use it out of the sprayers, but you don't need to foam it because it's already going to stick anyways because it's gel. So.
Very good.
Here, I'll take this so you can. Ryan's only.
Questions right there.
He's a customer service guy, so he's about to help some customers right now. Got more questions here. My compound and polish froze during winter. Can I still use them? That's from Rich. You know Rich? Here, let's see if I can flip this camera. It might work. Oh, look, it works. Hey. You know, I would say like your compound and polish froze. One thing I would say is like shake it like crazy. Shake it after it's thawed and then try to use it. And if it still has cutting power and you still can finish, like it's still performing exactly as advertised, you're good to go. I'd say most of the time when it comes to products freezing, the thing that's the most unstable is the dye inside of our products. So you'll see like the dye starts to fade, or like sometimes the products will separate. Like that happens with detail spray sometimes when it freezes. It like changes color, but like the formula itself is still good. It just like looks kind of off. Like I've had detail spray freeze and I've used it still as a drying aid and exactly how you use it. It just looks funky, but compound and polish, you know, it might separate a little bit, but if you shake it enough, you know, probably give it like a good 30-second shake and then try and use it, you should be good to go. It's just more, I think when it comes to like compound and polish, it, you know, if it gets stuff in it like dust or dirt and grime, you potentially like scratch the car while you're using it. But as long as it's sealed and everything's good to go, just shake it and try to use it again. So I think you should be good. Let's see. Just looking at more questions here. Let's see. I'll answer. Let's see, Greg. I have another question that I might need to. Well, let me clarify. Fishy's on here all the time. So, how's it going? I have used the advanced ceramic coating on my RV, but I still get the black streaks coming from the roof seals. What is the best product to remove them without damaging my Cerakoting? I would just say like anytime you're getting like the black streaks, it's really like oxidation from rubber or plastic. And so I would just clean them thoroughly with tire and rubber cleaner. And if you keep getting the black coming up in your towel, you need to do it essentially to the point where like a lot of black isn't coming up in your towel. That means you've removed all the oxidation. So I would just do that again and then recoat it. You know, the tough thing about like rubber and plastic is it's very porous, unlike paint, and so it can be a little finicky sometimes, especially like on that on like an RV, which is, you know, oftentimes RVs aren't using the same kind of material that they use on cars. So yeah, I would just clean it thoroughly again with tire and rubber cleaner, really scrub it down, get the oxidation off, and then recoat it. Doesn't mean you need to recoat the whole RV, but you know, and also like the thing you have to realize is the roof of an RV is just, I mean, unless you have one of those sick RV garages, which a lot of people do, it sits outside and the sun just beats on it and beats on it and beats on it. So UV from the sun is the culprit to a lot of damage on cars, mainly like oxidation, a lot of other things like that. So So yeah, just thoroughly clean it again and then recoat it. See, Greg has another question. He says, brilliant glaze versus glass polish for interior and exterior glass. So, Greg, I would say for interior alone, brilliant glaze is the right one. Actually, you know what's funny? I don't know why, but I can't say brilliant glaze. I mixed, I say brilliant glaze, and it's awful. And actually, somebody made a comment on YouTube that said, I had no idea what you were saying. They thought I was saying burning glaze because I don't know how to talk. But brilliant glaze for the inside of the glass is the best thing, not even a question. The reason being is that the only thing you really get on the inside of your glass is like food residue or the off-gassing from your interior surfaces. And so you get like this fog on the inside of your glass. You don't need something super aggressive to cut through that. Like brilliant glaze is more than perfect to do that. And so brilliant glaze treatment on the inside of the glass, do it like, I don't know, every couple of months is more than enough. Every time you know, I think the best way to do it is the first time you do it, you cut through it, but you put this kind of layer of wax because that's what brilliant glaze has in it. Then if you see it foggy again, you can just take like a double soft or single soft towel, borderless gray too, wipe it, and if the towel still glides on the surface and takes the fog off, you don't need to retreat it again with brilliant glaze. And so that's, you can just wipe it off with a towel. You don't even need like a spray or anything. The exterior, on the other hand, the exterior glass, if it doesn't have the clarity that you want, like I'm trying to look on the Z06. The Z06 actually looks pretty good. So I wouldn't necessarily, I don't know, there's some stuff on the exterior, but glass polish for the outside of the car is better, and you don't need to do it all the time. The reason being is it has specific abrasives in it to cut the, not like do a deep cutting of the glass, but like provide a lot of clarity. So if you have like old water spots, some haziness on the glass polish can make it look perfect. So keep glass polish on the exterior of the glass. And that's like more of, you know, the thing about exterior glass is it just sees so many more elements. It sees rain, water, all kinds of stuff. So that's better for the outside of that. So hope that helps. Ahmed says, I'm sure he meant to say, how do we prepare the surface before applying graphene ceramic spray coating advanced? So I'd probably say best practice for the spray coating advanced is to use this product right here, which is the Surface Prep. This is like an alcohol surfactant spray and wipe product that removes like any oils from, you know, can be any oils from using detail spray as a clay lube to polishing, you know, the surface or anything that you have. And I do recommend, like, even if you're cleaning the trim, to hit it with the Surface Prep before you apply ceramic coating. So probably best practice is you use Surface Prep before you use any of the ceramic coatings. Okay, but the thing about the graphene ceramic spray coating is it has a lot more solvent than than these ceramic coatings up here. Okay, so because it has more solvent in it, this can actually cut through a lot of the oils and stuff just by applying it. And so I would say, you know, probably you can, if you don't have Surface Prep, you can easily get away with just prepping it and then using the spray coating to do that. Now, if you're talking more like extended type of prep with the spray coating, my thing is you kind of have to define what you want your car to look like before you protect it with something that lasts 2 years. So I've talked about this many times before, but like an off-road vehicle that gets taken, you know, up on the trails and gets the pinstripes and a lot of damage on it, you're not necessarily trying to keep that perfect. So it's not something you don't want to be polishing that. Like every time you go up on trail and come back, you're not going to polish it. But with an off-road vehicle, you want to make it easier to clean. So what I've done is I've done take a few hours, do a one-step polish on like an off-road vehicle just to make it look nice, to create a good foundation, and then put the graphene ceramic spray coating on top. Now, a car that might be new, that doesn't have a lot of damage, maybe like minor swirl marks, just at least do a clay bar, like a fine grade clay bar or a clay mitt process, and then apply the graphene ceramic spray coating on top of that. So, but if you want your car to be perfect, you need to polish it, you know, with like the polishers up here. So it just kind of depends on how much work do you want to put into it, how much effort do you want to put into it, and also like, you know, what does your car actually look like? We did a video, gosh, this was last year. The video is called "The Fastest Way to Ceramic Coat a Car," and it was a Jeep Trackhawk. It was that kind of navy blue color. It had a lot of flake in it, so it was hard to see any scratches. And all we did was did a standard wash on it, cleaned the wheels and tires, and then pulled it into our Arizona shop. We did the fine grade clay process on it, and then we just, and then we cleaned the trim, the rubber and plastic trim, and then we ceramic coated it over everything after that. We never polished it or did anything, and it looked amazing. So, but again, like the guy, Randy, who owns the car, he was like, I don't care if it's not perfect. I just want it to be easier to clean. And so we did that process, and he loved it. He actually thought we polished it because the clay really, like, it took off all the bonding contamination that was sitting on top, masking what the paint really looked like. And then the ceramic coating even added this, you know, shine layer, very microscopic shine layer. But when we would spray the car off, it was like amazing. The hydrophobics was amazing. So, you know, I think that's one thing about the spray coating that is such a huge advantage is that, you know, when I use it, I don't feel the pressure to make a car look showroom perfect because I know I'm going to reapply it again after a year or maybe 6 months. And it's more, I'm using it more as a tool to make my washing and my detailing processes more efficient rather than like trying to keep a car perfect that I don't ever want to drive, you know? So daily driven vehicles, I think spray coating is amazing because really, you know, if you're caring for it and washing it consistently, you have that layer of hydrophobic ceramic coating, but it doesn't matter if the car's not perfect or not. You know, really, even a car that's not perfect, has some swirl marks in it, but you have ceramic coated, is going to look better than 99.9% of cars on the road because half people don't even drive them or wash them. Sorry, they drive them, but they don't wash them. So, so yeah. Let's see. Got a couple more questions. Sorry, you guys can see like how bad I am at reading. Well, Joseph Fleischer said, hey, I just did an exterior wash, wheels and tires, detail spray, chrome, exterior plastics, and clay bar treatment, and my new detailing supplies should be coming tomorrow. Well, Joseph's set up. Sounds like his car looks perfect. Joseph, we have a Facebook community page on it's called Adams Polishes Community page. Go on there and post pictures of all the work you just did because I think people would love that. Pew Pew, thank you for commenting back to Ahmed. Let's see, I'm probably not keeping up very well. Just going through. Oh, here you go, Ken Wilson. Gotta say hi to Ken because he's awesome. He says, what's the difference between rinse aid and garden gloss, and how about a live doing a comparison? I actually love that, and I probably will do that on my car because I love both those products. I'm gonna flip the camera back around and look, there's Ryan. If you guys come into the Colorado store, that's Ryan.
Yeah, I hope you guys out. Any questions you have, I'm more than happy to take the time to answer anything you need.
Yep, that's his desk right there. And he's legit. He knows so much about all of our stuff. So.
Detail until 2 a.m. last night.
You were? What were you working on?
It was a GLE. I did a Ferrari the night before.
Really?
I'll show you.
That's crazy. Okay, so Ken Wilson asks, what's the difference between the H2O Garden Gloss and the Rinse Aid? So they're actually, I would say like they perform similarly after applied, but the way you apply them is significantly different. So H2O Guard and Gloss, I think this is probably, I think these two products are some of our most underrated products in our line. The reason being is they provide so much value with such little effort. And H2O Guard and Gloss itself, it's a way to essentially protect your car with hydrophobic protection, which is more sealant based. It's a polymer sealant mixed with SiO2 or silica. This is a way to dry your car and protect it all in one step. So you've done the washing mitt on the whole car, you rinse it off and pull it inside, and then you start doing the H2O Guard and Gloss treatment. So you have, and actually here's a fun fact about Adams polishes. Probably not a lot of people knew this, but the reason why we even have these borderless gray towels was because they were the two towel system to go with H2O Guard and Gloss. And H2O Guard and Gloss is gray, and that's why these towels are gray. Okay, we wanted borderless towels. And the reason why we brought gray ones in was because they were to be paired with the H2O Guard and Gloss. So when you do this process, you have towel 1, you have towel 2, and then you have H2O Guard and Gloss. Now, before you start spraying H2O Guard and Gloss onto the car, what you want to do is you take one towel, you drape it over your shoulder so it stays dry. The second towel, you get wet, get it all the way wet, and then wring it out so it's like a damp towel. Okay, and so now you have one damp towel, you have one dry towel, and you have H2O Guard and Gloss. The car is wet, pulled it inside. Ideally, you want it in the shade. It's the best way to do it to avoid water spots. But you work section by section. So like I would work, thank you. I'd work like on this fender and like this door. So I'd spray H2O Guard and Gloss. It's like 2 sprays on this section and like 2 sprays on this door. And then I give 1 or 2 sprays into the damp towel. So I still have the dry towel on my shoulder. You work it in with the damp towel with the product. And then after you've worked it in, then you take the dry towel and you buff it all off. And after you buff it off, the car looks crazy shiny. It's protected with hydrophobic sealant and silica. And you dried the car all while you're doing that with the towels. So after you do that section, it can go on the glass and the plastic, every exterior surface, probably excluding a soft top, you know. So after you've done that section, then you just move to another section. So then you could do like this fender and like half of the rear glass and the rear deck lid. And you just kind of make your way around the car. And after you make it back to where you started, you have now dried the car and protected it all at the same time. H2O Guard and Gloss is ridiculously good. I actually use it quite a bit in the winter. When I wash my car at the paint spray, I'll actually there's a paint spray right by my house. I'll go there, wash my car, I'll pull it into my garage and do the H2O Guard and Gloss treatment all during the winter. Because then I don't need this big towel and like the detail spray is not going to perform because it's so cold outside. I can get away with doing H2O Guard and Gloss like that. And it makes the car so shiny too. That's why we could have easily just called it like, you know, H2O Guard, but we said gloss too because the polymer sealant technology in it like fills in imperfections and makes it look amazing. So H2O Guard and Gloss, super underrated. Now Rinse Aid's similar thing. It provides hydrophobic protection on your car, like crazy hydrophobic protection. Now this product is very much different than H2O Guard and Gloss. So again, still part of like the drying and washing process, but you've taken the mitt, you wash your whole car. Now your whole car is soapy, okay? And if you're outside in the direct sunlight, I recommend starting on the shaded side first. But essentially what you can do is you rinse the car off, maybe call it half of the car, and then you can dilute this into a foam cannon. You spray Rinse Aid out of the foam cannon. When it comes out, it doesn't foam. It looks milky. It just looks like you're spraying milk on your car, essentially. It sprays on there. As soon as the Rinse Aid hits the car with the water on it, it immediately becomes hydrophobic. Or if your car is already ceramic coated, it only helps it boosts the hydrophobic properties even that much more. So after you've delivered the Rinse Aid onto the car, you wait about 10 to 15 seconds. You know, cue the Jeopardy music. And you wait there, and then after 10 or 15 seconds, you take your pressure washer and you blast it off, and boom, it's protected and hydrophobic after you've rinsed it off, you know? So you can do it out of a foam cannon, or if you don't want to have multiple foam cannons or be switching and all this stuff, you can dilute it into a dilution bottle, which all of that is outlined in the video on YouTube, but also on the bottle. Instead of spraying it out of a foam cannon, you can spray it diluted onto a wet car out of a dilution bottle, and then wait for 10 to 15 seconds and then rinse it off. The other method that I like, and this is not something we've ever even talked about, this is something I just started doing with this product, is I put a sprayer on the full concentration bottle that I'm holding right here. I put a sprayer on top of this, and I hold this with the trigger in my hand like this, and I start rinsing off the car, and I work in like sections. So let's say I'm doing this fender right here, just this section right here, and the wheel. I rinse it off. Now, there's still soap on the rest of the car, okay? And mind you, I'm starting in the shaded side first. It's very important. I rinse it off, and as I'm rinsing, once the soap is all gone, I take the trigger and I spray it perpendicular into the stream of the pressure washer. So the product goes in here, it gets diluted by the pressure washer stream, and it hits the car, and you can see the milky color going on. So I'm going like this. And then once I've seen the milky color go on everything and it starts to become hydrophobic, I stop spraying, and then I rinse it off, and then I just move to the next section. Now, I prefer that method, and the reason being is that if you just spray rinse aid onto a big section of the car and it sits for too long, when you go to rinse it off, the protection agents on here stay on the car. Then you have to go over it again with like detail spray to even it all out. Whereas when I do it this way, not only have I sprayed it on and applied it, it's not sitting on the car for too long, so then by the time I have rinsed it off, everything looks perfect and it's protected and hydrophobic. So maybe next week I'll do that. I will do the comparison between these two products live so you can see the actual process of how they work, and I'll show you the 3 different methods of delivery with rinse aid, because I think it's a pretty cool product. I think like this is hard for me, okay, because I think H2O Garden Gloss is easier because you're drying and protecting the car all at the same time. But it is a lot of work because you have to bend down and get the lower portions of the car. You can't really miss any spots. I think the delivery method of rinse aid's easier, but it doesn't dry the car while you're using it. So you still need to, like, after you use rinse aid, then you still need to use a drying aid and dry the car eventually, you know. So they both have their advantages and disadvantages, but as products alone, they're some of the most efficient like protection agents that you can use. And the thing about H2O Garden Gloss, it lasts like in months. We're talking like 3 to 6 months based on how you take care of your car. So like, let's say that you wash your car every 2 weeks. After like the 4th wash, on every 4th time you wash your car, if you do the H2O Garden Gloss process, forget ceramic coating. You could just do that for your detailing cycle for the rest of your life, and your car will always look great, and you never even have to do the ceramic coating. So like, in that, I just want to say too, like, ceramic coating is not like the end all be all. Like, if you don't want to do that, don't do it. There's other things that you can do. It's just you have to do them more frequent to keep your car protected. The reason why ceramic coatings exist is because you're talking years of protection. So you put that on, and then you go a longer period of time before you have to reapply it. But because like these things are so easy to do, you did it every 3rd or 4th wash, you wouldn't even have to do ceramic coating. So you ready to check out? Nope. All right. You have any questions? No. We're doing a live Q&A on YouTube right now. No, go ahead. As long as you sign our talent release.
Quick question here from EM Ramirez again. We got a question about matted Alcantara.
Matted Alcantara. All right. Matted Alcantara. I don't know. I've seen methods online. Ian Ramirez says, what do I do about matted Alcantara? That's what he said?
Yeah.
if there's little balls, which are little piles, use a Bic razor and shave it. I've seen people do that. But realistically, I think like, don't do that. I'm not telling you to do that. What I would say, like the most important thing for matted Alcantara is you need to rejuvenate the fibers. And like this is one of the best methods, okay? A nice brush like this. But I would also say something we don't sell, which works amazing, is a steamer. Like if you can get steam to expand the fibers and then brush through it and clean it, that's by far the best way to restore Alcantara, to get like the fibers standing back up. But, you know, I think also, there you got it right here. Our suede and Alcantara cleaner can be a great product as well. When it gets really matted and dirty, you need to do this process multiple times. So spray this onto the surface, scrub it. Like I would say probably the place that gets the most matted down is your steering wheel, an Alcantara steering wheel. So you're gonna spray this directly on there and you're gonna scrub this and scrub this and scrub this. Now the thing that's really cool about our suede and Alcantara cleaner is it has a foaming agent to it. So it doesn't foam when you pull the trigger and it sprays, but when you agitate it, it starts to foam. And that's actually, it's amazing because the cleaner goes in and penetrates all the dirt. And when you start brushing it and it foams, it pulls the dirt out of the Alcantara to the very top surface. Then you take your edgeless utility towel and you wipe it off. So like, you're not only are you cleaning it, but it's taking the dirt and grime and pulling it all the way to the surface. So when you wipe this off, it goes into the towel and then you just treat it again until those fibers are like standing up and looking great. So the end all be all way to clean that, which not a lot of people, you know, you're talking about having to spend quite a bit of money for a steam cleaner, right? Like on Amazon or wherever. If you're willing to invest in that, or you're a professional detailer and you have that already, that's probably the easiest way to like restore Alcantara that's matted. But you also need to like let it dry because it gets really wet. I'd say our suede and Alcantara cleaner, hands down, like one of the best suede and Alcantara cleaners I've ever used. Just because of, you know, our chemist added that, like it's called a foam burst technology. We have it in our also in our citrus degreaser. Like you can use it with a foaming sprayer, which it comes with, and it like foams like crazy when you pull it. But also like when you agitate citrus degreaser, it foams up like crazy. So, and that's actually why citrus degreaser for me is my favorite product to use to clean bed liners, because I want to get the foam, like I want the foam to grab onto the dirt, pull it to the surface. So then when I rinse it out, it takes all of it with it versus staying embedded. Same with Alcantara cleaner. You agitate it with the brush and it pulls it all out, and then it's easier to wipe away and clean. So, so yeah. I don't
Got
need
another question here. T182, he's just got a black GMC Sierra.
Okay.
Not the best condition in the paint. He's asking if there's any other things he should try besides normal clay, compound, and polish for black paint.
Did you say what year it was?
He did not.
Ask it. What's his name?
It's just some letter. It's T182.
T182 asked about he got a new GMC or
It says used, so I'm just
he has a used GMC Yukon. You said
a Sierra.
used GMC Sierra black paint, and he's wondering if like there's anything more he can do than like a clay treatment or a compound and polish.
Yeah, because he just took delivery of it, I'm assuming, and
Okay, so my question for him is, what year is it? And if you can tell me the year, then I could give you it's going to be a very simple answer, which is probably what I'm already going to say anyways, but compound and polishing is like, that's pretty much, to get the paint looking perfect, you have to compound and polish it. There's just no way around it. So, so yeah, I'll ring you up. Are you a Phillies fan?
Yeah.
I love that. Bryce Harper's a legend.
He is. It's going to be a good year.
I hope they.
question about the foaming interior cleaner. We have a lot of great interior cleaners.
I got a question for you real fast.
Yeah.
I just had a bunch of turbo stuff, polished up.
Say that again.
I have my turbo housing polished. I just had it polished out.
Oh, yeah.
I was curious. Everyone says not to put ceramic coating on it because it'll turn like a yellow. So, like because it gets hot, but like if you put ceramic coating on it, it's gonna start turning yellow. But I hate fucking have to always polish it out all the time.
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's no protection on it, you're gonna have to polish it consistently because it will just get cloudy. But I want to tell you to put it on because, like, we've tested our ceramic coatings and the heat resistance is like, I mean, we tell people to put on calipers, which gets really hot too. You know,
So which? Because I have the Gaffney. I don't know which one it is. I have one of the little spray bottle ones.
I think for me, I would probably, I would probably tell you to start with this. Either one of these. The reason why, so he asked me, he has a turbo housing that gets really hot and people tell him not to put ceramic coating on it because they say it turns yellow. And like I was telling him, we've done heat testing on these and it's super resistant to heat.
Okay.
But the reason why I'm telling you either one of the spray coatings is they're not as permanent as these. So we're talking about like this is a year and this is 2 years. And it's easier to buff off, it's like easier to polish off than those.
Okay.
Because it's a less thick layer.
Well, let's do one of those then.
Okay. And like the thing, because it's only gonna last year, it will give you a sense of if it's gonna do that.
Yeah. That way it's not wasting 2 years of it.
Yeah, but it's easy. It'd be way easier to fix, you know. So that's what I would tell you.
Perfect. You guys have any more of these boxes or no?
I think so. Yeah, we have more of those.
Yeah, we got a lot more of those in the back.
Yeah.
I'll take one of these two. Then.
Okay.
You got some?
I designed this whole thing.
Did you?
Yeah, and each one of these, on the back, you can see the years of which the photos were taken. Like,
nice.
so it's like I kind of created 4 different eras of what Adams Polishes is, but I'll go grab that here in a second. So we got spray coating, scratch and swirl, mini plush drying towel.
I'm gonna grab my phone whenever I cash out, take a picture of this with that doll crap.
Yeah, do it. One pack, and then what are these called, Ryan?
They're right there on the quick selection.
Quick selection. All right, there we go. And then he wants anniversary. Is that on here too?
Anniversary should be right under recent products.
See, they got like a whole system that I have no clue. Pick up, save address. Sorry, everyone on the live. Oh, there we go. This guy right here. Do I have to press anything? Add to cart?
Yep.
Okay. And then is there a... It's probably up here, huh? Do I press this B-Day one?
Yep, that's our most active.
25% off.
Oh, sweet.
So, pretty good. Okay, I'll get you a bag here in a second. I'm going to take the camera. I'll have him finish you up.
Yeah.
And I'll take them on a little journey in the warehouse.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, try that and let me know. If it
will.
sucks, just return it.
Definitely will.
Like, don't hesitate to return that. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to come out here to the warehouse to grab one of the anniversary kits with all the products, which is pretty sweet. So yeah, I was gonna say for that GMC Sierra, I think you said, polishing, compounding and polishing. But the reason why I was asking like what year is because the newer models of GMC or any of the GM vehicles, the paint is like crazy soft. And so there's some other methods to like slowing the speed of your polisher down when you get to the last step. It's like running your machine at setting 2 instead of setting 4 will help refine the paint a little bit better. Here's this, man.
Awesome, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Is he still helping you out?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And the other thing I would say too, like on softer paint, like softer GM paint, the microfiber isn't necessarily required. Like you could get away with the blue foam pad and the compound, and that will like correct you know, more than enough to get the damage out, and then finish it with the polish. But like I was saying, like on the machine, say you're using this machine here, you'd run it like I normally, when I'm correcting cars that have standard hardness of clear coat or a little bit harder, I'm like at setting 4. But on newer GM paint, I'm more running it on setting 2. And I think, I can't remember who asked that, but I think unfortunately you can try hand polishing it. It's going to take you a year to do, and it's not going to be all the way effective, but machine polishing is kind of the way to go. And I guess, I think also, unfortunately, if you have a black car and you want it to look good, machine polish is the thing you got to invest in. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Someone just asked, do we have a foaming interior cleaner? We do. I'll just show it to you really fast. It's this guy right here. So this is called multi-use foaming cleaner. This would be our foaming. And actually, like, if I can get this off, you can see when you pull this, it foams straight out of the top. So you just aim it, spot spray. That actually works really good for even in your house for like pet accidents, stuff like that. Works really good for that. So take it in. Take it
I
easy.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Crunchy Bites, is this real? It is. We're live. I have aluminum wheels on my motorcycle, and would like to know what works for the tire without staining the aluminum. I would say tire and rubber cleaner would be the best thing for that. With aluminum wheels, you especially don't want to use wheel cleaner because it can stain the aluminum. Tire and rubber cleaner, hands down the best. And by the way, if you're not going to like fully wash it, you can spray it into an edgeless utility towel and scrub them, and it will remove the browning and stuff from the tires. And it leaves them like perfectly naked, especially like on motorcycles. You don't want any tire shine or anything on those. So the tire and rubber cleaner with that, like spraying it on a towel and scrubbing it, makes them look amazing without making them slick. Luke Chester says, wash your car every 2 weeks? Insane to wait that long. Well, I think Adam, who founded this company, washes 3 times a week. So he's probably on the same level as you, Chester. Crunchy Bite says, can you on headlights? You know what, Crunchy Bites, I'm actually going to do that in an upcoming live. So next week, I'm going to compare H2O Garden Gloss and Rinse Aid, and then the week after that, I'm going to show how to correct headlights. And the reason why I'm waiting is because I want to make sure I have a headlight that's really screwed up. I don't want like a nice one. I want one that is like the light doesn't shine through it. Ian Ramirez, comes in a 6-ounce bottle for foaming interior cleaner. It doesn't. It just comes in that big aerosol. Let's see. Got the new St. Patrick's Day detail spray bottle. Can we show it off? Of course I can show that off. What do you mean? This is it's actually pretty sick. I actually really like this. This is the St. Patrick's Day limited edition detail spray. And it's really got Lucky Charms vibes, which probably can't say, but I said it anyways. It's really cool. I love that there's a leprechaun cleaning a car down here on the bottom. It's like one of my favorite parts. But just the design itself looks really cool. And there's like, you can even feel like some of the raised gloss on there, and you can kind of see it. But then like in the coins, they have A, D, and S for like atoms. But I really like how this one came out this year. It's pretty sick, actually. Just FYI, I mean, if you're kind of new to the brand, how's it going? The limited editions for us is kind of like, they're like trading cards almost. A lot of people get them and save them, build a collection, and then we've even seen people sell them on our Facebook community page, on eBay. So they've kind of become more of a collector's item than they have just like something to use. But still, people buy them to use them because they have unique scents. So, you know, there was one year we did a collaboration with Untamed. It's kind of like a streetwear brand, and the guy's name's Yusuf. He's a really cool guy. But we did a coconut scented detail spray, and it's hands down my favorite. Like, I used it all very quickly, and I still, from B&B Blending, who's our chemical manufacturer, I always have them make me a gallon of coconut detail spray because I love it so much. Okay, so SG Cole 111 says, "Hi, big Adams fan." Well, thank you. I use the advanced graphene on my Subaru with excellent results. How should I think about touch-ups? Use boost, or should I use advanced spray with small area polishing? That's a good question. You know, I think for me, there's a few different ways to maintain a ceramic coated vehicle. So if you're wanting to do like small touch-ups, I think that like quick polishing with, you know, retouching with advanced spray coating is a great way to do it. I just think that what I don't want you to do is feel like you're constantly fixing things all the time. Like, the purpose of especially that Subaru is to enjoy driving it. So, you know, realize that ceramic coatings, yes, they're more durable, but they're not bulletproof. So like, you're gonna get damage along the way. So what I would almost recommend to you is like, it's okay if it gets a little bit of damage, unless you know, you're trying to fix it for a car show or something like that. Just let it ride until you get to a point where you need to do the whole thing, and then do a one-step polish, which actually works amazing on ceramic coatings. This product right here, one-step polish. This paired with the blue foam polishing pad, I mean, the thing about ceramic coatings is they're harder than clear coat. So like with that one-step polish with the blue foam pad, like it cuts through the damage on the ceramic coating, and then it finishes perfect. And so it's more efficient to polish because you only have to go around your car once instead of twice, and it makes it look crazy good. So like for me, I use the advanced spray coating on my 2008 4Runner, but I do that very purposefully because you know, we have a winter reality here. And the thing about Colorado, it's very weird, is you don't wash your car as much during the winter. Like, it's not an every week type of thing. You know, in the summer, yes, because it's really nice here, but you also run into the thing of water spots. But during winter, you're not washing it as much. But when I am washing it, I want the dirt and grime, and especially like the magnesium chloride, to come off really easy. And so in October, I do the one-step polish with the spray coating, advanced, on top. So I do that like in October. Then I go all winter, like enjoying my car being easy to clean. Then when I come into spring, I do like a spring cleaning. I do the same process, one-step polish, and then apply the advanced spray coating. And then it makes washing my car throughout summer that much easier. And even if I get some water spots, they're easy to remove because the spray coating is more resistant to that. And so every roughly 6 months, I just one-step polish my car, reapply the graphene ceramic spray coating, and it's really, really easy. And, you know, in both those times of the year, I kind of pick a day when it's 55, 60 degrees outside, so it's way easier to apply the graphene ceramic coating versus a 90 to 100 degree day, which the cure time is like sped up. It cures really fast, so you have to work in smaller sections. Whereas when it's like 60 degrees out, I can work in a larger section, which makes it a lot easier to do. So, so yeah, like that's just kind of what I do. But you know, I'd say like we have a really cool video on our YouTube channel here that says, "Listen up, what is your ceramic coating telling you?" That is a great video for maintaining a ceramic coating. So if you just put yours on, I would watch that video, and then it gives a great explanation of like, based on when you rinse your car off with a pressure washer or a hose, what the water behavior is doing. The ceramic coating tells you what you need to do to it. And in that video, I line out everything on that. So, so yeah. Anton, good morning. What's up, man? Can I use butter or buttery wax on top of my ceramic coated STI. You can, but it's not going to adhere, unfortunately. It just, in our buttery wax, it doesn't have any SiO2 or silica in it. So you can put it on, it will make it look nice for probably a couple days, but it's not gonna, if you use a pressure washer, it will come off immediately. So, you know, I would say like, if you really want to make the ceramic coating look great, CS3, graphene detail spray are both really great options. But if you do like that waxing process, we actually sell something called graphene liquid wax, which has the SiO2 and reduced graphene oxide in it. So use this instead of buttery wax to wax on top of a ceramic coated vehicle. But, you know, I think like graphene liquid wax isn't necessarily something that I would put on top of a ceramic coated car. I would use that instead of a ceramic coating to wax it. I'm more working in like, you know, if I want it to be shiny and nice, like graphene detail spray is great. H2O Garden Gloss, I talked about it earlier, has SiO2 in it, so you can dry and boost your ceramic coated vehicle all at the same step with H2O Garden Gloss. And Rinse Aid's also a great option for that too. So I'll probably do a couple more questions. I'm talking too much, so my throat's getting dry. And kind of running out of time anyway. I try to keep it to about an hour. Let's see. Someone said I love slippery motorcycle wheels though. Yeah, I don't know. If you have like full armor gear on or like a big, if you're bubble wrapped, maybe. But don't recommend slippery motorcycle wheels. Let's see. Team Heavy Chevy 1. Pretty cool handle. Hey Joe, can you cover cleaning seat belts? Yes, I can. So cleaning seat belts. Thing about cleaning seat belts is like it's usually like a very specific section of the seat belt that gets dirty. So usually what I recommend to do. So I'm going to come over here so I can set my arm down. But usually what I do is you can do it two different ways. One, if you have a carpet extractor, you can do it with that. And actually in the last carpet extractor video, I talked about that, cleaning seat belts. So realistically what you do is you pull the seat belt out as far as you can, lay it onto like the seat that you were extracting, and then extract the seat belt with the carpet extractor. And then you just like work in strips and sections, flip it over, do that. The other way is same thing. You pull it out, lay it across the seat, spray carpet upholstery cleaner on it, scrub it with a cockpit brush, and then wipe it away with Edge's utility towel, and that works great too. So really the secret to it is like getting it extended and laid down onto a flat surface. It makes it a lot easier to not only like hold on to the seatbelt, you can also, if you can pull it out far enough, you can like wrap it a couple times around like an armrest, if you have an armrest that comes out, so you don't have to hold on to it. So, but generally it's pretty quick. I think seatbelts, they're not as, they don't like take it, they definitely get very dirty, but like, it's not like seats where it goes like deep into the fibers of the upholstery. Seatbelts are just it's just a little bit different of a material. So it's usually surface level of the dirt. So they're pretty easy to clean usually. So, let's see, I hope that helps. I don't know. That's just how Adam taught me and how I've done it, especially like with the extractor. Very easy to do. Heavy Boy says, agree, the Antisocial Social Club Adams is insane in price. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the most rare limiteds we did, so pretty expensive on eBay, to be honest. Let's see, what else? Anton, One Step is king. I love that product. I didn't really like, to be honest with you, One Step was kind of a weird unknown product for me for a long time. Once I learned how to use it, I love that product. I mean, for running for tacos, I just did a one-step polish on a car that was jacked up. I mean, it was so oxidized, and the results were crazy. And The secret to one-step polish is to do multiple passes. So like generally with compound and polish, I do 2 passes before I move on. With one-step polish, I do 3 or 4 passes extra, but I don't have to go around the car twice. So it's a little bit more efficient. I'd say like for, I don't know, probably cuts down the time by like, I don't know, 25% maybe. Still a little bit more efficient. And you can just kind of focus on each section as you go around the car once versus like going around it twice. So I'll probably take 2 more. Let's see. Styling 1, I think the windshield got a huge scratch and the sharp across it from the wiper. Can I get something to remove it? We don't have like a deep correcting glass polish, unfortunately. I know that like there might be some detailing shops that will like actually sand glass and correct it, but the thing that's really hard about glass, especially like automotive glass, is like if anything happens, it heats up too much or you do something where it breaks, it like shatters everywhere because it's tempered glass. So I tend to not try to be too aggressive with glass. If anything, you know, unfortunately on like modern cars with all these sensors, replacing the windshield can get expensive, but on older cars, you know, like my car is $150. So yeah. Okay, and then Aaron, I'm gonna butcher your last name. I have many times before, but Aaron on here said, happy 25th anniversary, Joe and everybody there. Hoping you guys enjoyed the cake. I just want to say Aaron is like, he's been a loyal like fan and customer of ours for a long time. And I just really appreciate Aaron. Like he's so passionate about Adams polishes. His car always looks amazing. And he last week brought us I think it was a tiramisu cake, and everybody loved it. So Aaron, I just want to thank you so much. You know, I think it means a lot for us to have you come here and be so gracious with like your time and everything, bring us a cake, and just, you know, I think for us, we're just so appreciative of everybody, like not only here on the live, but everybody who's a part of the Adams Polishers community. It's, you know, on the Facebook page, people ask questions and then all of our customers jump in and answer the questions for us. It's like all of our customers have become experts and they're not shy to give us real feedback, even on how I talk, to how the products work, to how crappy our customer service can be sometimes. But they're also very passionate about how great our customer service is 99.9% of the time. So, you know, I think for us, we're just really appreciative of all the customers and people that are a part of this Adams Polishes community. And I think for us, it's not as much about, oh, we have the best product or this and that. It's really like helping people realize like the results they can get on their car. We're happy that people even take care of their cars. So, you know, we're just very appreciative of all of our customers and everybody a part of the community. So thank you, Aaron, and thank you to everybody as well. So I think with that, probably going to jump off. I still see a couple more questions. Save them for next week. I'll answer them next week. But, you know, I hope this Q&A was fun. I know for me it's fun. It's like, I don't know what kind of questions you guys have. And a lot of the questions are really helpful for people. And actually, this week, because of the Q&A, we now have 2 topics for the next 2 weeks. So even better, you know. So next week, we'll compare H2O Guard Gloss and Rinse Aid together and how they're different but both similar. And then the week after that, we will correct or restore some headlights. And like I said, I want some really crappy ones. So yeah, that's what we have lined up for the next 2 weeks. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, great weekend. You know, hopefully it's good weather where you guys are at. I think we have like, it's Colorado, so it's like, we have no idea. It's 65 today. It's supposed to snow on Friday and then be 70 next week. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and then I will catch you guys next week.